I'm about to take my very last dose of Clomid, at least very last dose for this cycle. Today is Tuesday, so this is my 5th day of Clomid, and it should be my last for the rest of the cycle. So here we go. That was it. Hey everyone! I mentioned in my last video that my plan was to sit down each day and do quick daily updates on how things were going when I was taking Clomid. And I did do that. However, I decided to delete that footage because it was really repetitive. I was basically sitting down every day and telling you the same exact thing over and over for 5 days. So I thought it would be better to just do a general recap of how my experience was with Clomid. I know I mentioned this in my last, I don't know, 2 or 3 videos, but I was really nervous about starting Clomid. This is my first round of Clomid, and we're attempting our very first IUI as well, and I just had no idea how my body was going to react to it. And I had heard so many horror stories about Clomid that I was just, part of me was just convinced that I was gonna have really awful side effects. And I am happy to say that I really didn't experience hardly any side effects. The one side effect I have is hot flashes. So after my first dose of Clomid, maybe about a few hours after I took it, I started experiencing hot flashes. And it's not something that's like constantly happening, but it's every so often I'll just suddenly get like overheated and I need to drink water and cool down, and then it goes away after a few minutes. But that has really been my only side effect. The other thing I have noticed, and I noticed this last night and then this morning when I woke up, it was significantly worse. And that is I have an excess amount of breakouts, like especially in my cheek area, like here and here, and then on my chin, and like right in the middle of my forehead. They're just like really tiny red pimples, and they're just like everywhere. Acne is nothing new to me. I've been struggling with acne ever since I was a teenager, and to be honest, I never thought I would be in my late 20s and still dealing with it, but I am. But the amount of acne that I have is significantly worse than my normal, so I'm not sure if it's a coincidence or if it is from the Clomid. So that could be another possible side effect. Overall, I am feeling really great, and I am so grateful that I haven't had really bad side effects. I hope the Clomid is working and that it's doing what it needs to do to help my ovaries produce more than one follicle. I mentioned in my last video, my fertility doctor wants me to have hopefully 2, maybe 3 follicles in order for the IUI to have the best chance of working. So I go in for my follow-up appointment tomorrow morning to see how things are looking. Currently, when I'm filming this, I'm on cycle day 9, and tomorrow I'll be on cycle day 10. So hopefully I'm trying not to get too worked up about it, but there is a part of me that is really nervous that I'm going to only have like 1 follicle, which that wouldn't be the end of the world because it really just takes 1 follicle. But our chances, at least according to my doctor, our chances are slightly better if I have at least 2 follicles. So I'll find out more tomorrow, and I will be doing a whole other update about how that appointment goes. But I did want to touch on something because I have received quite a few messages, like 4 or 5 messages on Instagram about twins. Some of you are really curious to know if we are specifically trying for twins, or if we're worried about getting pregnant with twins, or like what is the deal with that. So I thought I would address that here in case some of you are curious as well. John and I were not specifically trying for twins, but the reality of doing fertility treatments is that you do have a slightly increased chance of having multiples. So that is something John and I really discussed and prayed about and just talked about before we decided to go through with Clomid and IUI. But ultimately, we feel that moving forward with this is what's right for us. And if we do end up having twins, then I just have to feel like that's just what was meant to be. That was just God's plan for us. My fertility doctor told me that with Clomid and IUI combined, we have around an 8 to 10% chance of conceiving twins. So it is slightly higher than the average. Like I said, I have no idea how my ovaries have responded to the Clomid. I won't know that until tomorrow. So for all I know right now, I could just have like one dominant follicle, and twins will pretty much be out of the question for the most part. So I will be making a separate video based on how my follow-up appointment goes tomorrow. So make sure you are subscribed to my channel. That way you don't miss any of my updates. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.